Hello all you beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. I Standalone Gaming. Today we will be playing Poly Bridge and we'll be doing 4.6 through 4.10 in the ancient ruins. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. This first one was pretty tricky. First thing I want to do is turn the grid off. I feel like it's a little bit easier. Then you have to make a path up to A. Doesn't necessarily have to be that clean, but the cleaner the better. Let's go ahead and put some steel beams in. And you want your normal bridge truss. Now, one thing I did do here, I shortened this just a little bit. I put a secondary road in right here. You do your normal truss. Now, the only thing I didn't do was connect it to the rest of the bridge here. The reason being, actually, we end up using steel for this, so let's go ahead and delete this real quick. Reason being is I actually have this piece kind of like flop down, and then your other C car falls into place. Now for this one, you kind of drop down a little bit, and then you give it just enough space that the van can pass through, and hopefully the car can fall down. And I went and braced it all together. Something like that. Now you definitely might have to adjust things here and there, but this is essentially how I made it work. Now pretty much you got to adjust for the van whenever the van hits like that. So you got to hit stop again, bring up this a little bit, bring up this a little bit. You need it to just skim by. So it definitely does take a little bit of finagling after you originally build it, but once you get that van by, that is your first phase. Just like that. That part should drop open, just like so. This car should hopefully fall in. Now, other than your whole bridge being destroyed, your whole goal is to get the C car to be able to fall down now without getting too much damage to the original bridge. So, you could also open this up a little bit more, have more of a drop there. And if you want, reinforce it with steel. We have about $8,000 we can still use. So you could go ahead and reinforce this part here too. Like so. And then maybe do a truss here, like so. And see if that works. Again, make sure your van has enough room to pass by. Move this back a little bit, and we'll move this back also, just like this. And then hopefully it's just enough for him to scrape by. Just a little bit off. Oh, we got stuck. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust everything, but this is essentially how I built this. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust everything, and I will see you guys in a few seconds. All right, guys. So after some adjustment, I went ahead and adjusted the brace down here a little bit so it spreads out. So when this car lands, it can take the brunt of the impact. Also made it a little bit lower here, and the drop is a little bit better. So with that being said, let's go ahead and see what happens. As you can see, the van barely skates by there. Our little hatchet opens. Car lands and rolls into the flag. Not much finesse, but it works. So, under budget, didn't break anything, and good on materials. So that was 4.6. Let's get to 4.7. Fork jump. Now this one was pretty tricky, only because they don't exactly tell you what to do. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but they didn't exactly like go into detail or anything like that. So, but with that being said, you basically just want to make a jump. Add your supports. And then you need hydraulic and a rope. Now you're really hoping, probably put some supports here. You're really hoping that the car can take off without breaking your bridge. And then the hydraulic hopefully picks up the bridge a little bit, or your jump. Let's go 11% for now. And then you're hoping the next one jumps a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and see what happens. We need a little bit more strength. A little bit higher and see if that works out. Put another extra piece of wood here. We got some money, so it snaps off right here at the end. What we could do is see if it will work on this third part right here. That way I won't have so much pressure on that last piece. R1 nailed it. Oh, and there's car 2. Oh man, I wasn't sure if he was going to make it. But yeah, so you're basically just building a jump, and then you're using your hydraulic to adjust the height of the jump. Next one. But with that being said, let's go to 4.8. Now this one was pretty tricky, especially since you only have 7,000 as your budget. Essentially what I did, I built a little ramp right here. One, it takes away some of his speed. So if you can see, you gotta make sure it's just enough that he can get over it. Like so. He ends up hitting this little dock. That's what I was aiming for. But it's just his front tires. So he does like this little flip, like that. And then you essentially just want to catch him on the fall, which is actually super tricky. It sounds way easier in my head. You know, I've definitely done it before, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Something like this. Eventually he hits his front tires on here. He flips over and hopefully lands in here without breaking. If we can get stuff to work. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. Kind of like that. That worked out perfect. So let's go ahead and look at that one more time with the front view this time, so you can see exactly what we're looking for. So basically he hits here, his front wheels hit here, the nose grazes the ramp, which slows him down, because if he does a complete flip and hits his back tires, it will actually shatter the whole ramp and he won't be caught. So that's what you're looking for. Now we have 4.9, and this one was actually really difficult. I actually had to look this one up. This is probably like the only one I had to look up. And I'm not even going to go ahead and rebuild it because that's how complicated it was. So basically what I'm going to go ahead and do is just load up my old one. And as you can see, the thing looks crazy. So over here, I just built a normal bridge. But essentially over here, you have this tower. And you need the tower to essentially launch the car over to here. Because you only have a small number of pieces of wood. Or road. But this is basically what I came up with after looking at other people's builds and seeing how they did it. So go ahead and show you how it works. Basically, it catches the car here. This little piece stops this part from breaking. That's pretty much all it's for. So as you can see, it hits here and it keeps going through this like random loop that it does not break. If you let this fall all the way down, it will eventually fall down here. So I'll show you that real quick. So let's go ahead and delete those. So if you do this without that, it still catches the car, but once it hits down here, it actually breaks and you won't get the achievement for, see what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. You want it to look like this, and this little piece right here basically essentially catches this part and stops it from destroying. I already built the tower without looking it up, but basically I needed to find this part in order to stop myself from breaking the tower here. So let's check that out one more time so you guys can see it work. Catches it. This piece flings around, slingshots the car, and then it doesn't break because it doesn't actually fall down. And then we're on the 410, which is flip flop. Now this one was kind of tricky, only in the sense that hydraulics can be tricky. So you gotta like know when to drop them and when to raise them and stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't like super difficult. It wasn't as difficult as that last one. 4.9 was probably like the most difficult one I've done so far. But with that being said, you can go ahead. Essentially what I do is build a little bridge over the top here. Something like that. Actually, I have it a little bit higher. I remember now. I had an issue with hitting C here. So what I did, go ahead and turn the grid on real quick. Did something like this. And that was a little bit higher. Like that, kinda. And then it dropped down. Reason I did this. Fix this real quick, hold on. The reason I did this is because I had it come down right here by doing this. Did a nice little steel thing here. Made it put a little beam here. And then I used a hydraulic here after I put in my trusses. I apologize. Getting a little ahead of myself sometimes. Put in the trusses, and then I did the hydraulic. And essentially what I did was I had it expand so that it pushes the bridge down and connects over here, hopefully. At least that was my plan. I had a little road up here just to see if it would connect. Right off, get that nice and close. One piece of steel beam to hold this part up. You want to make sure that your connections are all holding up. Want one to be your bridge, two to be for the side over here. Want all these to connect to, I believe, two. We can adjust it if we need to. But I think that's all I had to do. Let's go ahead and hit play and see what happens. So that luckily made it. If you do run into an issue where you're constantly having wheelies, you got to adjust the ramp here right in the front. You make it a little bit lower, like so, and hopefully he won't be trapped in a wheelie. We have to reduce the expansion here, 26%. We need it to be as close to this road as possible. We need to adjust a little bit more. Just a hair more. Because if it's above, if it's a little below, that'll be okay. But if it's above, the bike will hit it and probably break it. That looks perfect. So as you can see, if the bike does a wheelie, you end up getting stuck. So you have to adjust for that on the angles. See what happens. But essentially that is the build. So you can get it to work. That's all you really need to do. As you can see, if you don't have the expansion perfect, it can cause issues. I like to try to get as close as possible so it actually lines up and attaches here, but sometimes it doesn't always work out in my favor like that, so. But you essentially need it to be also over top of the boat that comes through here. See how the boat's going to hit it right there? Yep, that's what's going on. Oop. So you got to adjust this up a little bit more. Now let's see if that'll work. Bike 1 made it. We're a little low on the draw here, so we got to expand just a little bit less. Let's go at 28. Oh, I think we got it. Oh yeah. And just like that. So with that being said, that is 4.6 through 4.10, 100% on Ancient Ruins in the game Polybridge. So if you enjoyed that episode, please leave a like. If it helped you out in any way, please leave a like. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to see more of this content, I drop these videos every Saturday for Polybridge. So subscribe to my channel. You'll be updated when I post one of these videos, and I would greatly appreciate that as well. So with that being said, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching, and I really hope to catch you in the next one.